my name is Taylor, and this is an introduction to a 2020 project pan that I actually started in January, kind of just doing on my own, but now I want to put it up on YouTube. So I want to project pan because I kind of I have trouble finishing off some products or convincing myself to use other products. Part of the goal of this is to, finish things off, but also kind of encourage smarter buying habits by getting some things out of my collection, as well as kind of realizing how long it takes to use up some products. So I have already hit my goal on 5 products, but they were all pretty heavily used. So one of them was a Dr. Jart BB cream, which is a great product. I just want to try a couple others before I think about repurchasing that one. Another one was a L'Oreal True Match powder. It had a little bit of coverage. I actually loved it and hopefully will repurchase it after I get through a couple others that I have. Another was a Laura Mercier under eye powder. It's kind of similar to the famous translucent powder, except it's in like a little jar and it's marketed for the under eyes. I've actually gone through like 4 of those, 3, maybe it's 3. It used to be one of my favorite products, but now I've kind of discovered I don't need it. I found other concealers and powders that work just as well that don't cost that much. I've also used up a mini of Becca Opal. This was a highlighter. It was just like a little mini. I had to throw the compact out because I like snapped it accidentally. That was fun. And then I had a goal to hit pan on a Becca Under Eye Brightening Corrector, and this is it. And I've like hit a little bit of pan. There's like I had a pretty good dip when I started. I just like take like a tiny bit of this in like this area. It's fine. Like eventually I do want to use this up. It just doesn't feel like a necessary step. I don't really have super bad dark under eye circles, and I don't really think this helps a lot, and I also think it's really hydrating and emollient to the point where sometimes it was too emollient and things like would crease and move around weird. It might be nicer if you had like drier under eyes, but I don't really have dry under eyes, thankfully. Next I have what is it? The Tarte Clay Stick Foundation. This is a shade light medium and it's way too dark for me. I can make it work by like just taking like a beauty sponge, just like getting a little bit on it and just like blending it all out, and then like I'll spot conceal over it. But it's too dark for me. This is how much I have left, and it's actually, if I were to put the product all the way down again, you would see I've actually used a fair bit of this. This is actually also the second one of these that I've used. Someone gave 2 of them in the same shade to me, and I went through one and like part of this one last summer when I had like more of a tan. It worked. The color worked better. Hopefully it'll start to work better for me. But I don't really, it's just okay. I don't like it. I think it can get kind of shiny and is a little bit finicky. So I'm ready to get this one out of my collection. I have a piece of paper where I've marked where like it currently is. Previously I hadn't really been marking it, but I know I can go through this in the summer because I've gone through one, and like part of this is just not my favorite. I am working on 2 primers. The first one is the Becca First Light Priming Filter, and I have about this much left. This used to be one of my favorite products. I have gone through another one of these full sizes. I have a bunch of minis of it, and it gives your skin like a nice glow, but it doesn't feel necessary, so I kind of want to get these out of my collection. The other primer I have is the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Face Base. This is just a mini. It is very lightly used. I've used about that much. I'll try to mark it. It's just a mini, and like it's just a moisturizer at the end of the day. I think it is just a moisturizer, and yes, makeup looks beautiful on top of it, but for the amount of money that you'd have to pay for this, it doesn't feel worth it. So I want to get use out of it and kind of move it out, as well as it's really heavily fragranced, and I would really like to not have a lot of products with heavy fragrance in them. I don't think that's very good for your skin. So I have a IT Cosmetics Your Skin But Better CC Plus Airbrush Perfecting Powder. It is a sheer to full coverage finishing veil with SPF 50+. I have it in the shade medium, and this one was another gift from someone, and it's too dark, and I don't really love it, but I have like made a point to like, it has SPF, I gotta use it up. So how I have been using this is I have been putting a cream bronzer around the perimeter of my face and basically just setting it with this, and it's worked well for that, but like it's not a product I would ever purchase again. Even when I was like super tan last summer, I tried it all over my face and I just hated the way it looked. It got greasy. It just never really has worked for me, but I'm so close to being done with it. I just have a little ring of product around the edge. It's so hard to pick up with a brush, but I don't really feel like it's worth repressing at this point. I just want to like finish it up and be done with it. Another product is the Smashbox Contour Palette. This has been in my collection for a very long time, and two of the shades, the under eye kind of highlighting shade and the bronzer shade, were pretty well loved. So I wanted to finish those up. And then the contour shade, I don't really contour very often, so I just wanted to hit pan on it. So the contour pan is actually kind of like loose in the palette, so after I'm done with the bronzer shade, I am going to just put this in a Z palette. But I have finished up the under eye highlighting shade. I am so close to being done with the bronzer shade. And then the contour, here. So the contour shade has like a little bit of a dip in it, but like not really much. And judging by how long it took me to hit like pan on like the bronzer shade in here, this is gonna take a while. I barely ever contour. I've only really been contouring recently because I've had the time now, but yeah, that one's a pretty big goal. So I have a blush. It is the Bobbi Brown Shimmer Blush in Washed Rose. It is a really pretty, nice, natural color on me. I'm wearing it today. It doesn't look as like intense as it does in the pan. It looks like it has glitter on it, but when you blend it out, it just has a really nice glow, and I really like it. This is one of my favorite and most used blushes in my collection, so I'm trying to hit pan on it. It came in January. I had like a little bit of a dip on it. The dip has grown, I swear, but we're working on it. You can kind of see. I have like a dip on it. Like, it's a good dip. It's just, it's taking a really long time to hit pan on this. But I do enjoy this blush, but there are also other blushes in my collection that I miss using, so I'm hoping I hit pan on this soon. I also have a finishing powder. I like to set my face with just like a loose powder or a pressed powder, and then use a finishing powder on top, because I use I tend to use more matte foundations and more matte powders because I'm kind of oily, but I still like a glow to my skin, and this is, for me, a nice way to add it back. So this is the Hourglass Ambient Diffused Light Powder. It's just a mini. I actually already have a nice pan on there, and it's quite thin. I know I'll be able to use this up. So I have a cream eyeshadow from Supergoop. It is the Shimmer Shade SPF 30 in the shade First Light. I bought this because I fell in love with the Charlotte Tilbury cream eyeshadow in Marie Antoinette, which is beautiful. It is like the perfect, just everyday, all over eyeshadow. It looks great. And I was thinking that this would be nice because it has some SPF in it, so that would be like, you know, a great everyday product. I bought a color that is really light, actually, to the point where if I wear just this, it kind of washes me out. So that is like a pretty heavy swatch, so you can kind of see the color. And this is like I've used it, but there's so much of the product left in there, and it technically expires in August, and I don't know how comfortable I am using it past August, so I am just using this as my eye primer every day, trying to get through it. I don't think I will by August though. I also have a MAC eyeshadow in Blanc type. This is just a single, and it's, you know, it's a nice shade to like kind of set your eye primer. When I came into the project, it had like a little bit of pan on it, and I've been expanding it, and I will just keep working on it because I have so many shades like this in eyeshadow palettes that I don't really need this single. So I'm also trying to get through some eyeliners this year because I have so many eyeliners that are just sitting there because, to be honest, on most days I just use eyeshadow as eyeliner, so I'm trying to get through some of my... So it's just time for me to start getting through some of these and using them again. The first one that I have been working on is the Giorgio Armani eyeliner. This is so old that I don't even know what shade this is anymore. It's fairly short. I have used this quite a bit. It's this nice purpley color. It works. It's a little dry, so I find that I have to sharpen it fairly often and sometimes even warm it up on the back of my hand to get it to apply nicely. So I think I'll be able to get through this. It's just a matter of using it every day, which I do struggle with. I also have a Clinique quick liner for eyes in intense black. This is non-retractable, so I can't really roll it up. It's just sometimes the product starts like falling out, so I want to get this out of my collection. As well as, to be honest, I don't really use black eyeliner. I prefer shadows, so I'm working on it. We'll see if it ever gets done, but there it is. It's fine. It's nothing special. If I were to repurchase a black eyeliner, I wouldn't pay this much for it. I also have another one of those Armani eyeliners, and this is in a brown shade, and this is also really old, and whereas the purple one is kind of dry, this one is excessively creamy to the point where you can't even apply it on the eyes. Like, I tried to swatch it, and it's so creamy that like it feels like half the product is coming off into the swatch. So yeah, that one there is just super creamy. So I actually don't even use this as an eyeliner. I actually take a brush and dip it in there and then use it in my eyebrows. It works fine. It's like a pomade. I'll use it up that way, but this is part of why I was like, I need to start getting through my eyeliners because this weird stuff happens and then you don't even want to use them anymore. So the kind of final two products I'm working on are like a 2-in-1. It is a Tarte Lip Sculptor lipstick and lip gloss. The shade name has rubbed off. Let's start with the lip gloss. As you can see, there's a lot of windows. To actually get product for me to apply it, I have to like really, really scrape. And I think like to actually get the rest of the product out, I'd need to take the stopper out. But it is so messy as it is. Like, there's just like lip gloss everywhere that I'm a little afraid that if I do take the stopper out, that it'll get everywhere and like I won't be able to carry it around. Not that I'm going anywhere, but so I probably will end up doing it and then just kind of maybe cleaning it out or even trying to put it in like a different container just so it doesn't like get everywhere. The lipstick, on the other hand, still going strong. When I started with this lipstick, it wasn't brand new, but we'll say it was lightly used. So I have made amazing progress for a lightly used lipstick in 4 months. The caveat is this is the only lipstick I've ever worn for 4 months. I've used this like almost every day, and I'm like applying it and reapplying it. Is what I'm wearing now, and I'm getting really sick of it. But I also I think there it is there. It's a great everyday color. Like, it works. It's fine. I'm fine with it. Lipstick takes such a long time to use up, so I'm getting a little annoyed by it, but I will get through this. I can't use it as a cream blush because it breaks me out, as I so unfortunately discovered, so I'm just going to keep wearing it like every day. So I'm going to take some progress pictures, and I'm also going to have some note cards with pictures of where the products are that I'll hopefully have put on screen. Editing skills. And I'm gonna try to do monthly updates. Personally, like when I was just doing this myself, I was only checking in about like every other month, but I'll try to do monthly. And I also have, I think, 2 other project-y type things that I want to try to do that I'll hopefully get started. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. This is my 2020 Project Pan.